What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know what? I got my crazy hair on because I'm going to make you guys say, Mark Holmes, you're crazy. When you see the title, you're going to be like, that mother, he's delusional. How dare you? How dare you, Mark Holmes? You can't talk about Peyton Manning and Dak Prescott. You can't do that. You can't use them in the same sentence. Dak, dink and dunk Dak. Dak trespass. Dak couldn't hold the jock strap of the Mannings. Are you kidding me? Well, I'm going to tell you. Listen here. Dak Prescott can get that ring the same way as Peyton Manning did. He can be just as good, if not even better, than Peyton Manning. I'm seriously. I know what you're thinking. Did you steal Joe Boo's rum? It's very bad to steal Joe Boo's rum. But no, just listen to me for a second here. Because this goes credit this to DMV, okay? Because he just called me up and he was like, hey, man, I got the skinny for you. And I said, uh-oh, what's going on, man? He said, Peyton Manning and Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott can get a Super Bowl just like Peyton Manning. I said, okay. So the chip went to your head? He's like, no, man. He said, listen. He said, most people will think about, when he was in Indianapolis, got that Super Bowl, of course. People will think about when he had set the NFL record in TD passes. Hell, I remember being there at Thanksgiving, where I never saw the Lions win one Thanksgiving game. And I saw Peyton Manning throw 6 TD passes in one game. One game. Which is interesting to say that, because what I'm going to tell you is, the Dallas Cowboys are in a very similar situation right now with Cooper Rush starting for the Cowboys in place of Dak Prescott to have great things happen. If we take the 2015 Denver Broncos, and I remember that Super Bowl because I remember it was against Cam, and Von Miller destroyed Cam Newton. Cam Newton couldn't do diddly. Okay. That defense of Denver, although it was the number 4 rated defense, it was 4th. Yardage, they were 1st, and they were 8th at taking the football away. They demoralized teams. Peyton Manning, I'm not even sure we could say he was a bus driver that season. Peyton Manning was injured and only played in 9 games. I think it was 9 games. Hold on. Let me make sure. Yeah, Peyton Manning played in 9 games. He was 7-2. Or I should say, the team was 7-2. Because Brock Osweiler. Okay, Brock had to start 7 of those games while Peyton Manning was hurt. He was 5-2 in that time. 5-2. Okay. He ended up having a 61.8% completion percentage, threw for 1,967 yards, 10 TDs, and 6 interceptions. And that is, by definition, average. 7.2 yards per completion. Now, here's the thing that's interesting here. Because this was Peyton Manning at 39 years old. And Peyton Manning was a shell of himself. You remember he had his neck fused, when he left the Colts. Maybe the Colts would have actually been better holding on to him instead of drafting Andrew Luck. But be that as it may. Peyton Manning was awful that year. Peyton Manning, get this. In 9 games, he threw 17 interceptions. Guys, that's almost 2 interceptions per game. Do you know how many touchdown passes he threw in that time? Do you? Do you, punk? 9 interceptions. 9 TDs. 1 TD per game, 2 interceptions per game. That offense was not good. When I go down, let me go back up here because I've got the computer in front of me here. Thank you. You guys don't know how good it is. You have it. That all these numbers are literally right here in front of you. Their defense was fourth in scoring defense, number one in yards. Their offense, 19th in scoring points. In yards, 16th. Now, while I'm sitting here, because I wasn't ready. I was just so excited about this because I know people are going to go ahead and say, you're crazy. Let's look at the numbers for Brock Osweiler in his career. I'm just curious what it actually looks like. Because Denver, he played 6 games there, or started 5 games, and of course, he played in 5 games in 2012, didn't start any. Played in 4 games in 2013, didn't start any. Played in 4 games in 2014, didn't start any. 2015, played in 8 games, started 7, 5-2 record. He went on to Houston, where he was 8-6 in a 14-game season. He was 0-4 in Denver when he came back, and he was 2-3 in Miami, and he's out of football. And so in his career, this guy who was instrumental in getting the Denver Broncos to the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning, 5-2 record with a great defense. It's just a journeyman. He did what a backup was supposed to do, which is win you games. They had a great defense that they could end up basically being conservative. You know, you look at this, he had 10 TDs and 6 interceptions that year. Houston at that time had a young J.J. Watt. He had 15 TDs to 16 interceptions. The next time he came around, he was 5 TDs, 5 interceptions. And in Miami, his last year, he was 6-4. So clearly, having that great defense helped a lot with how you could call a game. And this may be one of those things that we look back, at Cooper Rush and say, Cooper Rush right now, guys, we've only given up 2 sacks. We've been able to run the ball better than we have in quite a while. We're using 12 personnel because we haven't had all the receivers, and that's actually another video elsewhere. Are we better off having just 2 really good receivers and not having 3? Yeah. So the play calling is better. It can be more conservative, and Cooper Rush is not making mistakes. And that is a formula for winning, and that's a possible formula that between him and Dak, if he can continue to hold serve, there's things that Dak Prescott can do that Cooper Rush can't. And we're not going to be facing the Washington Commanders away. We're not going to be facing the Washington Commanders that are getting 14 penalties every week. There's going to be other games where we're going to need to have stuff done that Cooper Rush isn't ready to do. But between the 2 of them and that defense, you could have Super Bowl aspirations. Now, I'm not saying the Cowboys are going to Super Bowl. I'm just pointing out that formula right there. And I dare say that was the same formula for the Seattle Seahawks, because Russell Wilson that Super Bowl year only had 22 TD passes. They had Beast Mode, who was over 1,300 yards that year. Beast Mode was. And they had the number 1 scoring defense, yardage defense, and taking the football away. Just saying. Go ahead, leave in the comments that I'm crazy, about talking about Peyton Manning and Dak Prescott. But facts be facts. Shout out to DMV for taking the chip and bringing me that information. Peace out.